Hi guys, welcome to the second video. My name's Adrina. I am an Australian teacher, a Teachers Pay Teachers seller and a new mum. Now in this video, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be showing you exactly how I make my clip art and post it for sale on Teachers Pay Teachers. Now I have done a little bit of investigating and there's not that much out there on how to actually create clip art, and when I first started I really had to kind of like dig deep through all different videos to try and figure out, how do I do this? How can I create clip art and how can I put it up for sale on TPT? So if you don't know what TPT is, it Teachers Pay Teachers, that's what TPT stands for, and it is an online marketplace for teaching resources, but there's other things that are sold on there like clip art, which is what we're going to get into in this video. Now I've been really excited to make this video, so stay tuned and we are going to get into some practical tips of exactly how I go from the creating process all the way up to the uploading process. I'm just going to be focusing on something small and little just to give you guys a basic idea of how to create and to upload. This is something that it took me a little while to learn, so I'm hoping that having this in this video, it is helpful to you. Also, please be mindful that just because I do it this way doesn't mean that's exactly the same way everyone else does it. This is just the way that I know that's being successful. So on TPT, there's a few different ways that you can create clip art. The way that I've been creating clip art, however, has been through the program on my iPad called Procreate, which you can find on the App Store. And it is a program that you do have to purchase. But it is a one-time purchase. It is so worth the investment if you are a creative type of person and just love to draw or just create. I really love Procreate. So what you will need for this is an iPad and an Apple Pen. The Apple Pen is optional, but it certainly helps. And I know these are investments up front and these are things that not everyone has, and there are, like I said, different ways to create clip art for Teachers Pay Teachers. This is just the way that I'm going to be showing you. So if you have an iPad, you have an Apple Pencil, and you have the program called Procreate, then you are ready to go to do this. I will just say, yeah, Procreate does cost an amount of money, but it is a one-off payment, so it's not a subscription or anything like that. I think it's about $15. Don't quote me. I'll have a look right now for you. Okay guys, let's get into the fun part of this process. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Procreate. And here I am on the front menu. These are just some of the artworks that I have been working on. Now to create a new canvas, we're going to go to this plus in the top right hand corner. Now if I was to be working on digital paper, I'd be clicking, just zoom in so you can see, I'd be clicking this paper 11x5 option, this one here, and I'll show you what it looks like. So if I was to create digital paper, that's the size it would be. It would be more like a piece of paper, but we're not going to be doing digital paper today, so just go to gallery, and so I will just swipe left to delete that. And what I am going to be doing is selecting a canvas to create my clip art. So I'm going to go add, and I'm going to I'll just insert it from new because I already have the setting here because I've used it prior. But if you were just brand new starting, if you go to this little black rectangular box type of thing with the plus on it, click on that. And what you want is 3,000 times 3,000. So 3,000 at the width and 3,000 for the height. And DPI, you want to make sure that's 300. If it's not 300, you just click it and just change it to 300. But 300 is just a good setting to have it on. So you'll get a maximum of 18 layers with this. And all you need to do is just press create. Now you're brought to this screen. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see that. And so this is the screen. It's hard for me to try and film this and draw at the same time. So you come to your screen, you can use your fingers to zoom in and out. Up here are your tools. If you want to go back to the gallery, just obviously click gallery. But all you need to know at this point is this is your color palette So this is how you change your colours, this little circle up the top here. This is your layers. So if you've never heard of layers before, you can draw something on one layer and then you can create another layer to draw something on top without having to touch the first layer. You've got your eraser, you've got your smudge tool, and then you've got all your brushes in here. So today I'm only going to be using the standard brushes that come with Procreate, but you can actually purchase brushes to enhance your artworks. However, just make sure if you're going to sell them on TPT that you have bought the commercial licensed. Yeah, so just make sure you got the commercial use brushes if you are going to sell on TPT. But for now, I'm pretty sure anything that just comes standard, which is all in these kind of ones, that you can use for commercial use. So I like to start off with, so go to calligraphy, and I like to use the brush pen. That's the one that I have used for most of it. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just like a nice kind of smooth type of pen that I like to work with. And if I didn't want that on my page, I can just go back, like basically Control Z, but you just do with 2 fingers and it just goes back. But yeah, this brush is just sort of nice and I just really like it. I have got, you can actually adjust it as well if you click on the actual brush, and I have done that with this, which I've called Ed Magic Brush, which is just like a variation of this brush pen, but I'm just going to stick to this brush pen, done just how it is, just so we can work with this today so I can show you, and if you wanted to create your own then you could use that too. So I'll go to the right hand corner with this circle where the colour is, and as you can see I haven't been very organised with them, but you can see I've got like heaps of different colour palettes. Some of them I've created myself and some of them I've actually purchased. And you can actually purchase like colour palettes and stuff off places like Etsy and just other places online. I won't go on to that. If you want to know a bit more about colour palettes, I can do a separate video. But for now, I'm just going to kind of maybe use these 2, well these 3 maybe. We'll see how I feel. Colour palettes to create my boho flowers. I might stick to this colour here, this nice light brown, but basically I'm just going to start by drawing my petals. And so there's one. Now if I wanted to, there's 2 ways I can fill this in. This is the first, when I first started, I literally used to do this and colour the whole thing from scratch. And yes, you can easily do that. But there's an easier and quicker way, and I will show you because it took me ages to learn this. So if I draw another petal, all I need to do to fill that in instead of colouring that in by hand is I just go to the colour dropper or the colour circle and I'll just drag that colour, plop, and that will fill it in. Amazing, right? So it saves me a lot of time trying to colour that in separately. So I'm going to just go and do a couple more petals. This flower can have 5 petals. I'm not too sure if I like that one, so if I just tap the 2 fingers down and try again, I don't like that either. Just get it until you feel like it's right. And I'm just going to colour that in now. So pretty simple, right? Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to draw the center of the circle, I don't want to draw it on this layer. I want to draw it on a separate one just so I can change the color if I want to recreate this same flower. So what I mean is, to create a layer, I'm just going to go up here to the little square boxes and click this plus, and you'll see layer 2 comes up. I'm going to leave that layer 2 on top of layer 1 because I want what I'm drawing to be on top of the layer that I just drew on. So now I'm going to go back to my colour palette and I'm going to choose another colour to go for the inside of this. And because it's kind of boho themed, I'm going to I'll see what it looks like with this kind of orangey brown and see if I like that. And that is quite cute, but it is really similar to that colour, so I might go, I like the shape of that, but I do want to lift it up a little bit. So I'm just going to grab the little pointer, lift it up a tiny bit, click it off. And because I do like that look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it in with this same colour, even though actually it is quite cute. But what I might do, I'm just going to trial it out another colour to see if I like it better. So now that's coloured, you can see here I've got my flower at the bottom and I've got my little middle part on top. So if I was to click this little square here, it'll go, so I can see just the bottom layer. Basically, this little box next to your picture just means the visibility. If I click it on, it shows it on the page. If I click it off, it'll take it off the page. Same with the flower. I can have no visibility for any of those, or I can have both visibility for both of those. So I want to really just see what this looks like with another color. So I might just go back to my color palette. So yeah, make sure I'm on layer 2. And I might see if I like it with maybe a lighter color. Let's see. So that's kind of cute as well. So I'll go back if I want to see what it looked like beforehand, and let's just try another color. See, that for me is a bit more better because the contrast is a little nicer on that. So I might stick to that one for now. And now what I might do to make it a little bit more cuter is I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to draw some dots. So I might choose like a light color. So we're just still using that brush pen. I haven't changed the pen, but I might do in this next part, I'll see. So one thing I forgot to say is if you want to change the size, so at the moment I'm working on size 24 of my brush size. If you want to change the size, you can just slide that up and down, up obviously being bigger and down being smaller. So I'm just at 24, so let's just go and see I can draw some spots. So they're kind of not exactly circular. So what I actually might do and see, making sure that I'm on that layer, I'm going to trial out using another brush that's not going to be this brush, to see if it looks nicer with more of a circular brush. So if I take away that, just to take away the visibility of that, create another new layer. I'm going to choose a different brush. Another brush that I do like to use is the monoline one. That's more circular. So I'm going to have a go with monoline and see if that is going to be a little nicer. So before I do that, make sure I'm on my layer 4. And so I can see that's quite small. So I'm only on brush size 1. Let's bring that up a bit bigger. So let's do to 4. So that's kind of cute. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's kind of simple and sweet. But I will try it because I don't know if that's too small. So I might try making it a little bit bigger. So just take the visibility of that. And I want to increase this size. Let's try on a 16, was it? 16, okay. Okay, so now this is kind of looking a little nicer because, oh, my battery pencil's low. Oh my goodness, okay. So, and also you can also zoom up to get a better, clearer vision of your work. Just makes it easier to see. Okay, so this size might be a little bit better. I'll see at the end what I kind of like. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty cute, I will say. So the great thing about boho is it doesn't have to be fancy, honestly. That's very simple. You know, some petals, a circular shape in the middle, and then some more circles. Like anyone could do that. So it's just obviously making it yours. So I'm pretty happy with that one, but I will just check, just see what if I go and click the other ones, take off the visibility, kind of see. So I've got the first one, which is still kind of cute. Smaller dots, it's cute, but I don't like as much as I think I like the bigger dots. Personally, you might like the smaller dots. You might like the smaller dots, but I think I prefer the bigger dots at the moment. So actually kind of am growing to like that one as well. But I think I'll stick, I don't know now. I do kind of like that. Okay. Anyway, So I think I'll stick to that for now. What I am going to do is, because it doesn't fill the whole screen, I'm going to actually crop this before I export it. So let me just show you how I do that. So what I'll do, so now I've made my flower, I'm going to now make it a transparent background. So to do this, I'm just going to go up to here to the square boxes again, and basically you just want to take away this background color and you'll have like this dark screen. So that's going to show you that basically it's going to be transparent. But see how the flower doesn't quite fill the whole canvas? We want to kind of crop this so it's not so, and I have been guilty of this because I sometimes am a bit lazy, but I've been getting better at this now that I've learned this trick. So what you want to do is, before you export it, you want to go to here, sorry, not here, you want to go to the little tool here, and you want to go to canvas, and then what you want to do is you want to go crop and resize, and then you want to go from this screen to settings, and then you want snapping on. Snapping is going to allow you for when you move it to be on like the last pixel. So I'll show you what I mean. So if I move that, it's going to snap. It's going to snap to like the edge of your picture. So let's snap it, snap it, snap it. And I'm going to click done. It's going to crop the canvas, but it's going to make it a little bit easier for when you actually use it. It's not going to have all this white, like this big box with no picture in it, if that makes any sense. So now I've created my clip art. I am obviously going to do a few more of these off camera, but I will show you how I export these in a second. I'm going to just go and do my creative process, create these little flowers, and then I'm going to show you how I export them onto my computer. Before I do that, I thought it would be actually quite handy for you to see how you can actually just change the colors pretty simple and easy. They're actually of the same exact image. Because I want these flowers to be exactly the same but just different colors, I'm going to show you how you can do that. There are two ways. This is one way you can do it. In another video, maybe I'll show you another day how you can do it as well. But for now, I'm just going to show you how you can do this pretty simply by duplicating this and then just changing the colors. So if I want, say if I want 12 images, which is what I do want for this pack of clip art, all I'm just going to do is I'm going to slide it to the left, duplicate. And first of all, I've just got two. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one, put it on top of the other, and it's going to make a little pack. So it's called a stack. So just for the purpose of this video, it's handy to do this because it keeps it more organized, but you can just click on that and you can rename it. So I might rename it boho flower. Boho flower. Done. I'm going to click into that, and I'm going to, now you do not have to do this, but what I have found is if you do rename them, it's easier for when you export them on to your desktop to know which one's which. So I'm just going to name it boho flower 1. I'm going to do this here, boho flower 2. Done. So I've got two images now exactly the same, so because I've just duplicated them. So I'm gonna now duplicate that. So 1 2 3, let's change that to 3. Now it's a little bit of work. Again, you don't have to do this, but just for the purpose of this and being organized, I will show you how to do that. So let's change that to 4 because I want 12 of them, because usually in my clip art packs I will have a set of 12 if it's sort of the same thing with different variations of colors. You can choose however many you would like to add into your clip art pack. I have got clip art packs that have more than 12 in them, but for my standard $3 packs, usually I just have them up for $3. So that was 5. Whoops. So 5, I'll just do that quickly. Change that. I'm going to do it to the center, it's 12, 6, 12. Oops. Okay, so we have 12 of the exact same flower. So now what we want to do is edit them all. Now, like I said, there is another way you can do this with just changing the colours. You don't have to do it this way. I should show you another way down the track if you want to do it in a different way, because this is not always the way that I do it, but it is the way I sometimes do it. So it just depends on what the image is. But now I'm going to go and edit all of these to change the colours. So go to Boho Flower 1, 2. And what we want to do is we want to change this. So to change the colour, we're going to just go up to here. We might change this to be like a darker one. And we could probably keep that the same. Unless you wanted to change it, you can. I might just see what it looks like. So I have to make sure I'm on this layer to change this part of it. Let's go and see what it looks like with this. That's a bit light, so let's see that. It's kind of a bit better. This is the fun part though, like the recoloring of it.
So, no, I don't really like that, so I'll go back.
And see, what will happen is if you aren't on that layer, it's just going to colour fill it. So I don't want that. I want to go back and I want to go make sure that I'm on that layer and fill that in. Okay, so if I go gallery, it's going to go back and I can see the two contrasting flowers. So I think I'll leave that for now. That's alright. I'll click on this. I'll change this one. I'll make this one a bit lighter. Oh, again, see? That's what happens. If I'm not on the right layer, it'll just colour fill the whole thing. So let's go to this. I do actually like that as it is, so I'm just going to go back. So 1, 2, 3, let's go into 4. So they are my 12 boho flowers. So super simple. You could do this, I promise you. And now I'm going to show you how I export them. So let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to go to the exporting side of things. So I have the iPad. I do use AirDrop. So I have my computer in front of me and I will show you how that kind of goes to it. So with obviously Apple, they don't have any cords, so they use a feature called AirDrop. AirDrop just basically sends it over through the signal and it goes onto that like automatically almost. So in this case, I'm going to select, now you can do it a few different ways. If you just want to select one image to send it over, you could just select one, but because I want all of them, I can actually I can select them individually, or I could do this. I could go back and I can actually press select from the home screen and select my stack that I want. So I want all of these. Now what I want to do, this is the same way to do it if you just do it with a single flower as well. But so I've got my stack and I'm going to press share. And what I want is just get out of that quickly. You just need to make sure that all of these have transparent backgrounds, and we know that because if we click on these, they have no white backgrounds. We're just going to make sure that this obviously is not turned on for any of them. So go back to the gallery, and so yeah, you can see in all of these they don't have any white background, so we know it's a PNG, but we know it's transparent. So let's go back, select the stack that we want to send over to our computer or laptop, and we're going to press share. This is where it's important. So PNG is going to allow you to have that transparent background. So we want to click PNG, and now it's going to say exporting. So let that export. You'll have a blue tick, and then what you want is you want to send it through AirDrop, and then obviously send it to whatever is connected. So I'm not going to send it to my phone. I'm going to send it to my iMac, and then you'll see it pop up over there. So yeah, you should be able to see that come up there. So that will be in downloads. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name it Boho Flowers. Boho Flowers. And I'm going to put it in that file. So to do that, I'm just going to click all the ones that were sent over AirDrop and just drag it. And they're going to be here. And I'll just take you off here for a minute. So you can see that, you can see now that they're labeled, and that's why I did the labeling prior, because sometimes it would just come up with untitled. So it just gives you a better way of knowing which one's which. So if I click on one of these, it'll show you that, and it'll actually even click on it and show you a bigger version of it. And here is also a really good way to double check to make sure that you're happy with it, because sometimes when you export it over you might find there's like a bit missing there that you needed to like go over. That's happened a few times to me, that I have to go back and fix it and then export it back. So that's now showed you how I've got it onto my computer. Now it's time to look at the packaging of how we can now put this in a file and put it up onto TPT. Okay, I just wanted to show you one thing as well that I like to do. One thing I do like to do with my images when they are exported over is I like to insert them into a PowerPoint just to see what they will look like. So if I just delete these subtitle boxes, and I'm just going to select all of these and just pull them into the PowerPoint, I'm going to be able to get a feel. If I make that bigger so you can see, I'm going to get a feel of what they look like. So if you just move them aside, you can kind of see that's your flowers. And yeah, they look pretty cute. And the thing is too, you want to check it this way as well, just to make sure, because sometimes again, like the colouring can be a little bit off, or you might want to change it. It's good to have like a bigger preview of it just to see that they work and just to see how they look on like a PowerPoint presentation, because for most part that's probably what they're going to be used in. That's what I assume anyway, what people use. They might be used in Canva and other things like that, but for the most part I feel like PowerPoint's just a good way to kind of see if they work and to have a look at all of them in a bigger scale. That's how you can basically get them onto your computer. And obviously you can see they're pretty cute, very simple but cute. And now what I want to do from that, so I've got that, I've tested them, I make sure that they're all working, that they all look the way that I think they're gonna look. There's no like little errors or anything on them. I'm happy with that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to make my preview. So if I go to, hopefully you can see that. If I go to File up the top, New Presentation, and it's going to just give me an automatic one, but I'm going to go I'm going to do my little cover preview. So what I do for this is, zoom up here so you can see. So I set this at 10 by 10 and just leave it under custom 10 by 10 and leave these two exactly where they're supposed to be, because it will make it square. Just leave them like they are, and 10 by 10 custom, okay. And to be honest, it does not matter. You can go don't scale or you can press scale. It doesn't matter, because you're just going to delete what's in the box anyway. So let me zoom out and it will lead you to a square box. So delete these because we don't need those. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically insert my template. So the template that I use all the time. Now if you are not using templates for your TPT and you're trying to create things from scratch every time, let me just stop you there and make a template. Okay, so what you want to do is, obviously you've got your Clipart now onto your computer. Now you want to create a cover for it. So you want to use templates. So I'm just going to copy, so select all of these. This is a template I've already created prior. It's one I've already used for one of my other Clipart sets. So I'm just going to copy all of those. Instead of creating it brand new from scratch, go into my new document and just paste it. So you have the exact same ones. Get rid of that. And what I want to do now to make it so simple is just change the title. So let's go, it was not 24, there's 12 in this one. Boho flowers. Oh, flowers. Make this text a little bit bigger. Move it over a little bit. And then to make this process so simple, I'm just going to click on this, right click, and just change picture from a file. I'm going to choose the same, I'm going to choose the file I saved my flowers in. So I'm going to do boho 1. Boho change file, boho 2. This is why it's also good for naming them. Boho 3. Boho 4. Boho 5. Boho 6. Okay, so that's pretty good. And I don't need this because they're not white filled. They are transparent, but I'll just leave that off. So if you want to be super pedantic, you can actually select all of these by just holding down Command. So if you're on a Mac and you've got them selected, and you can go picture format. This is just another little tip of the day. You can go up to align, and then if you go to align to top, they'll all align to the top. And so they're all in that same straight line. I'll show you again with the bottom. So if I just select, and then if I go up to align, and then it'll be aligned to bottom. So I'll just zoom out so you can kind of see. Align to bottom, and they will see how they kind of all align to the bottom. So they're more aligned. Now you can move them to however you want them. And so now, as you can see on the side here, I'm still left with these. So what I do is I just literally just delete that, and then just duplicate this slide by either copy and pasting, but the easiest way is just Command D, and that will just duplicate that whole slide separately. And because I have 12 of them, I'm just going to fill in the rest. So same process, I'm just going to click on it, change picture, and I'm going to go, so that's 6, it'll be 7 now, 7.
8, 9, change to 10.
Now obviously you can present your covers in any way that you like to. This is just the way that I like to do it. So feel free to take inspiration from this, but you know, you can design it any way that you like. So that's basically what I've got here. So I've got them 2 on the side. I've got those 2 as a preview, and then I like to just on one slide have a bigger version of it. So I'm just going to choose one that I like to be like more of the centerpiece. So I think maybe this one. Yeah, that's probably the one I want. If I had 2 different versions of it, I could just easily change picture for that, but I don't. So in that case, I'm just going to delete that. And usually for my last slide, I want to copy it from one of my other ones. Sometimes I would do like another bigger flower like this, but for most times I'm just going to have to go and copy it off another one of my smaller previews. I'll show you what I mean though. So this is my Bohemian Rainbows one, so I'm just going to go this end slide. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this template. So it's from my Bohemian Rainbows Clipart, and it just shows you it's 300 DPI for personal commercial use, PNG images, and it's in a zip file. So I just copy that. Now you don't have to do this. Again, you can present it any way you want, and just paste that in, just so when they're looking through this as the preview, yeah, this is the preview that they get to that, like, oh, okay, so it's 300 DPI and it's for personal commercial use. I just have to make sure that I have to change the title of it. So I'm going to go and just do boho, and I have to do that with the one above as well. So boho flowers. Oh, boho flowers. Oh my goodness. Trying to touch type here. Boho flowers. Make it a bit bigger. I'm going to go to this because this is not a monstera leaf and it's a boho flower. And I'm going to make that big. Actually, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to copy this. Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac. Boho flowers, exact same spot as that one would be. So it's not really changing too much, which is good. And I'm pretty happy with that. And I just look to the left and I can see, oh yeah, that's what the little preview will look like. Now what I want to do for this part now, this is the important part as well. just double check that you're happy with all of that, which I am. Then I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to go Export. So you're going to go to File, go to Export. Now this is the important part. So we're going to save it in the same file. So, but what we want to do is we want to change it. So I always save it under a little preview. So I just do like a little preview. I know it's obnoxious in being capitals, but it's just, that's how it is for now. So I'm going to change this. Now this is the most important thing, because if you don't change this to JPEG and you change it to something else, the file's going to be way too big to upload as a cover thumbnail. So I always change it to JPEG. It makes it a lot smaller, and I also make sure that I click on Save Every Slide. So I'll do that. So change the name. I've changed it to a little preview. You can name it to whatever you want. The reason I would name it little preview is just because it's for the smaller preview, because I have the bigger preview that I still have to make as well. So save it to every slide, and then I'm just going to click Export, and that will export it, and it will just come up with little things saying okay, alright, and I will check that. So I just get out of that. So you'll see that there, little preview, and there are the cover thumbnails. Now I'm gonna go away and do the big preview because this video is getting way too long. I'm gonna go away and do that. Okay guys, sorry it's the afternoon now, so my son is awake and you might hear a little bit of baby talk in the background, but all good. So, the way we want to export this is, I've made a file here. Oh my goodness. I've put all my stuff in my final folder, and I've renamed my folder. So I've named it Boho Flowers with Terrazzo Clipart. I always like to add my store name there, just because if somebody downloads it and if it was just called Boho Flowers and they didn't have their store name, that person might forget where they downloaded it from. So I feel like it's always, this is like an important thing to include, to have your store name on that. So inside my pack I've got my 12 PNGs of each of my flowers that we made. I have my credit logo, so this is just obviously the store logo that you should have inside your store, so then they can use that to credit you if they are going to use it for commercial use, if that's part of your terms and conditions. And then I have my terms and conditions at the very end, so that kind of just goes through. I'll just show you quickly. Let's zoom out. So I've just got a big it's kind of simple, but yeah, I'll just go through it. So I go through a thank you page, a little bit about me, my terms of use. Now I do a very simple terms of use, because, and you don't have to, you can choose. Just because I'm doing it this way, please don't assume or think that that's the way you should have to do it. It really isn't. I'm very lenient with my work, and I believe in simplicity, so I feel like that's the stuff that I kind of look for when I'm downloading as a creator, so I want to be able to provide that value back to others. So really, like, as long as you credit me, you can kind of use it for whatever commercial use, as long as it's not like reselling it just as it is, or like just changing it slightly, or, you know, using it with inappropriate connotations or anything like that. So I'm pretty lenient with my terms of use. Okay, so yeah, with I also include here a little earn credits page. So I just basically explain to the buyer that if you actually leave a review on a resource that you've bought, you can actually earn TPT credits. Not everybody knows this, and I don't know why it's not promoted more, but yeah, basically if you go into buy your purchases and then you go into where you can find your purchases, there'll be like a little button. It has changed a little bit since I've done this. The formatting of it is slightly different because they kind of updated it, but It's kind of still the same process, but you just have to click on leave a review. And once a person leaves a review, and please don't just write something that's just like thanks. Like maybe talk about the quality if you are a buyer, leaving a review or whatever. But yeah, you'll get credits for that review, and so yeah, you'll end up getting credits that you can then use towards your next purchase, if that sort of makes sense. Yeah, I might make a separate video of that as well, and then I just have like my acknowledgements, and then get in contact with me. At the moment I don't have a Facebook and Instagram or any of that, so it's just like literally if you want to follow me on my Terrazzo Clipart, then I'd love to have you. Otherwise you can email me on Terrazzo Clipart if you have like a question, or you can ask a question on my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So that's pretty much that. I can go in depth if you'd like to know any more about that, but that's pretty straightforward, and that's basically all you need in your pack. And then what you're going to do to make sure it's like the finalized version is you're going to right click it, and this is the important part. A Mac does it automatically. I can't speak on behalf of PC owners, but maybe it's a similar process. You might just have to look into that. I'm sorry, I can't help you out with that at the moment. If you just press compress, so if you press compress, then it will come up with a little zip file, and this is what you want to upload to Teachers Pay Teachers. Okay guys, now to upload it. So I'm just going to insert a couple of screenshots so you can kind of get a better idea of exactly how to do it. So if you go to the top right hand corner, you'll have your name or your store name. If you click on that, then it'll bring you to a drop down menu, and from that drop down menu you go under sell and it says my product listings. If you click on that, and then you will be brought to another screen. So you can see here I've got a few little arrows and pointers showing you where to click. If you are uploading for the first time, you have to click on add new product, but if you have already got products like I have already here, to streamline the process of uploading, I just go and click on quick edit. So I'll click on the quick edit. So click on quick edit, and then from here you create a similar listing, which is just underneath the picture when you go to that screen, and it will basically bring you up to another listing that's just going to be similar to the one that you chose to create the similar listing of. And so what you basically want to do is you want to create that similar listing, and then you want to edit all of these different sections. So first of all, you'll start with the title, so you'll change the name. So in my one here, you can see I utilized the boho weather elements clip art collection, and so I want to change that to my boho flowers. So I'll go and type that in to change that to boho flowers. And then what I want to go down to is I want to go down to the files. The very first file that you're going to have to insert is going to be the downloadable file. So this is the file that the buyer is going to get. So make sure that this is not your preview, make sure it's not your little cover. You make sure that this downloadable file is the zip folder that has your terms of use and also all your PNG images or whatever images that you have for clip art inserted in that. After that, you want to go down to the product preview. So you've inserted your downloadable file, which should be a zip file if you're inserting the clip art. So make sure that is the zip file, and then you go down to product previews, and for your for that preview, well, there's two here. They are optional, but it's always really good to have the big preview, I find. I know for me as a buyer, when I go and look at potential clip art I'm going to buy, I love when the seller has like a bigger preview so I can view it to see if I really want to kind of purchase it. You don't have to do this, but it does I think help. So I do that with the big preview, and well, at least with Not Terrazzo Clip Art, I haven't added any video previews into any of my clip art packs, but I don't really know if it's really beneficial to do that for my store at the moment. For now, I've just been leaving it as it is and not including a video preview, but I do include the big preview because it's just Clipart. So that's what I do for that. So yeah, just make sure that your big preview is not your folder, your downloadable file or anything that they can get that if they were to download it by accident. So just make sure you don't mix them up. So yeah, your first one will be a downloadable file, the next one will be a big preview, then you're going to go further down and you're going to upload your thumbnails or your cover photos. They should be the little square previews basically. And yeah, you just got to find them in your files, upload them. But yeah, you do want to make sure that you click on the upload thumbnails now button, and then you'll be able to click on each square individually to upload the slide or the cover for that. After you've done that, you want to go down to the description, and in the description you want to change it to suit the keywords and to maximize your SEO, which is search engine optimization. So yeah, you just want to make sure there's a lot of keywords basically in this so that buyers can find your work. So you can see a little preview of what I've got here. I'm not going to go too depth in this at the moment because that can be another video. After that, you want to edit your price and choose the tax code. So for my pricing, I try not to put anything under $3. And that's why I have my 12 pack of, if it's one image of like the same thing but different colors, I usually price it up for $3. And I do that too because like they can use this commercially. So even though they're paying $3 for say the same image but different tones or colors in that, they're going to be able to benefit and earn money off your artwork for however years to come on their product if it sells. So that's why I just keep it at $3. I don't want to do it too cheap. I know there are some people on Teachers Pay Teachers that do really make it affordable, like $1 for heaps of clip art, but I just feel like $3 for me, I'm happy to part with that, and I feel like it's not too cheap and it's not too expensive. So $3 for 12, I feel like that's reasonable. Especially when they can earn money off it in the future too. So the tax code underneath the price is what I usually choose is other digital goods, no physical media. Look, I'm still a bit confused about this, but I think this is the best option for the clip art. There is another option that I thought could possibly be considered, but I find that this one's probably the most suited. So I just keep it at that. If anyone knows better, please let me know in the comments. I can always change that. But that's what I've been doing for the last however long with this. So that's what I use for that. Yeah, so I do that. And then after that, you want to go to your category. So for me, because it's not really a flower, it's not really grade specific, so I'm not going to have to be specific with this. So all I'm going to have to do is just click on not grade specific. If you are feeling like it's more specific to a particular age group, especially with your clip art, then you can, but like for me, a flower is not really grade specific, I find. So especially when it's going to be like adult teachers looking for this to use in their TPT products. Okay, so after that, you want to go to the next boxes. You've got the subject area, resource type, and custom category. So I haven't really shown you exactly how to do this, but basically if you click on those boxes, it'll come down with a drop-down menu of what you can choose. I'm just going to insert the screenshot of what I use for my clip art settings, basically, but in subject area, I usually use graphic arts for all subject areas, products for TPT sellers. You can obviously change this slightly depending on what you want to, what your clip art is. The resource type, I just do fun stuff, clip art, and by TPT sellers for TPT sellers. And custom category, obviously custom category is whatever custom categories you have in your store that could be considered under. So at the moment I've just got it in design elements, but I think I do want to be creating a boho category, but I have to do that separately later on. So just for now it's going to be under design elements. After that, you do want to make sure that in your details, you put the number of pages. I usually just change it to how many Clipart images are included. So I just put, well, in this one, I will change it to 12 because that's how many images I have in there. And then I also, for the copyright, the reason why I click the second option is because I have used fonts in my work for my terms of use, and so because I have used fonts in my work, it's not something that I own personally, then I've clicked that I attest that I have used copyright and trademark materials, and I don't, so if I had literally just put the images without any terms of use or anything, then I'd probably just click the first one. Or if I had created the fonts myself, that's where I would do the top one. So if everything in that file is originally yours, that's where I would do the top option. But because I don't own those fonts, I would select the second option. And then after, this is the exciting part, it is time to create product, the green button at the end. But you do want to just make sure that you double check it a few times just to make sure that everything is looking good. And then once you press that green button, you'll find that there'll be a little loading screen, and then voila, you may or may not see it pop up straight away. Sometimes I know when I upload or make a listing, it can take up to 5 minutes before it actually shows on my store. So if you are refreshing your page thinking, oh my god, it didn't work, it's not there, give it 5 minutes before you freak out, because sometimes TPT just takes a little while with the uploading to show on your actual store. So as you can see here now, this is what it will look like in my store when it's uploaded, and my little boho flowers. If I click on that, it will go to this page, and you can view the preview, and that will bring you to the bigger preview. As a buyer, you can have a look at that, and yeah, that's basically it. That is my process. I was gonna finish this up with me being in the end of this saying thank you so much, but because it's been a bit of a tricky video to film because my baby is asleep now, and yeah, it's getting late at night, I'm not going to be able to finish this one off with saying goodbye to you on camera. But I hope that there was a lot of value in this for you, because I know, at least for me, when I first started, this would have been super helpful. So I'm hoping that I've been able to help you understand the process a little bit more. If you'd like to know more about this or have questions, please comment down below, because I'd love to make some more videos to help you guys out. I know how hard it can be trying to figure it all out on your own, and it's really good if we can just kind of share our knowledge. And yeah, I'm just here to be helpful and to share my journey, and yeah, give you guys a little bit of insight into my journey with this. So thank you so much for watching. If you got all the way to the end, you are amazing. You have some resilience and patience. Well done to you, because I know, like I said, I'm a mum now, and I know that time is valuable. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to help me keep going with this channel. That would make my day. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much, guys. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Adios!